On my own path, I realized that this connection with the divine is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is the fruit of a continuous process of self-knowledge, meditation, and prayer. I remember a time in my life when I felt lost, with no clear direction. I'm James. My own search for meaning and purpose began when I felt lost, yearning for a deeper connection with life. On that journey, I learned that there is immense value in sharing experiences and learning from those of others. Now I'm here to invite you to join this spiritual adventure. It was through the constant practice of meditation and reading the scriptures that I began to feel the presence of the divine in my daily life. One passage that has always touched me deeply is Psalm 23. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This simple but powerful statement helped me to trust that by establishing this connection, I would never be helpless. The chosen, therefore, are those who not only recognize this divine presence, but who also open themselves up to listen to and follow its guidance. They are able to silence the noise of the outside world and listen to the soft inner voice that guides them. This voice can manifest in different ways: an intuition, a feeling of peace, or even signs in the environment around us. In my experience, I have learned to trust these signs, as they have often directed me down paths that at first glance seemed challenging, but which turned out to be full of growth and learning. It is important to note that this deep connection is not the privilege of a few, but is available to all who sincerely seek it. The key lies in our willingness to open our hearts and minds, allowing the divine light to illuminate our lives. It is not uncommon to find people who, when faced with challenges, turn away from this search. However, it is precisely in these moments of difficulty that we must cling even more closely to our faith and our spiritual practice. I encourage each of you to reflect on your own experiences. When was the last time you felt a genuine connection with the divine? What practices or moments in your life facilitated this connection? Sharing these experiences can not only strengthen your own journey, but also inspire others to seek this attunement. Always remember that the spiritual mission of each one of us is unique and special. The chosen ones are those who, by recognizing their connection with the divine, become instruments of this greater force bringing light and love into the world. They understand that their mission is not about achieving fame or power, but about serving the greater good. They are people who, through their actions and words, raise the collective consciousness and promote harmony and peace. The chosen ones are those who are willing to dive into the depths of their soul and discover the truth about who they really are. Diving into the depths of the soul is a call that few heed, but those who do are the true chosen ones. This is a process of self-discovery that involves courage, vulnerability, and an unwavering willingness to confront both the light and the darkness that reside within us. The deep dive into the soul is not a linear path. It is a journey with ups and downs, unexpected turns and revelations that can transform our perception of ourselves and the world around us. The first stage of this dive is introspection. Stillness and silence are powerful tools for those in search of inner truth. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to lose touch with our deepest selves. Finding time to meditate, reflect, and simply be in silence can open doors to a deeper understanding of who we are. As Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." This verse reminds us of the importance of stopping and listening to the inner voice that is often drowned out by external noise. By diving deeper, we face our shadows. These are the aspects of ourselves that we prefer to ignore or suppress. However, recognizing and embracing our weaknesses, fears, and insecurities is fundamental to self-discovery. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, said, "He who looks out dreams, he who looks in awakens." Facing our shadows is an act of courage that allows us to awaken to the fullness of our existence. The journey to discover the truth about who we really are also involves recognizing our passions and talents. Each of us has been endowed with unique gifts that, when discovered and cultivated, bring us closer to our divine purpose. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What brings me joy and satisfaction? These questions can serve as guides to reveal the truth of your soul. If you feel the call to dive into the depths of your soul and discover the truth about who you really are, the 21-day spiritual challenge is for you. With daily exercises, you can raise your consciousness and promote inner harmony. Check out the link in the first fixed comment. Another crucial aspect of this journey is forgiveness, both of ourselves and of others. Carrying grievances and resentments creates spiritual blockages that prevent us from accessing our true essence. The act of forgiving releases these ties and allows us to move forward with a lighter heart and a more open soul. In Matthew 18 verses 21 to 22, Jesus teaches, "Lord, how often must I forgive my brother who sins against me? Up to 7 times?" Jesus answered, "I tell you, not up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. This teaching guides us to a life of compassion and liberation. It's important to remember that true spiritual purpose is not about fame, wealth, or power, but about serving the greater good and bringing light into the world. Throughout my life and my spiritual journey, I have met many souls who were searching for something greater. Some were blinded by the illusory glow of material success, confusing it with spiritual fulfillment. I remember once, during a spiritual retreat, a man who had achieved everything he could wish for on the material plane. He had a brilliant career, a big house, and all the luxuries money could buy. However, he felt empty, as if something essential was missing from his life. It was on this retreat that he began to understand that true peace and joy come from serving others and becoming a channel of light for the world. The scriptures teach us in Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, "No one can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and riches." This verse reminds us that our loyalty and our hearts must be committed to the divine, and not to the ephemeral pleasures of this world. When we reflect on this, we realize that our true spiritual purpose is much deeper. It is rooted in love, compassion, and the intention to do good. It's about finding ways to contribute to the well-being of others and our planet. It's not about accumulating material goods, but about accumulating spiritual merit. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every gesture of compassion are cornerstones in building a life full of meaning and purpose. In my own journey, I have found that the most meaningful moments have been those when I have been able to help others. When I visited communities in need, bringing not only material resources but also hope and love, I felt a deep connection with the divine. These experiences taught me that by serving the greater good, we enlighten our own souls and those around us. I encourage each of you to reflect on how you can bring light into the world. It could be a smile for a stranger, a listening ear for someone who needs to vent, or even a small act of generosity. Don't underestimate the impact these gestures can have. As Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 teaches us, "And let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due time we shall reap if we have not fainted." The chosen ones are always in search of personal and spiritual growth, constantly seeking to improve and evolve. Firstly, it is crucial to recognize that personal and spiritual growth is multifaceted. It involves not only the expansion of technical or intellectual knowledge, but also emotional, moral, and above all, spiritual development. As the Apostle Paul reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." This verse encapsulates the essence of the chosen one's quest, a continuous transformation that brings us closer to the divine. The chosen ones dedicate themselves to practices that cultivate the mind, body, and spirit. Meditation, prayer, and contemplation are powerful tools that connect us to the divine and help us hear the subtle voice of our soul. In addition to these practices, the chosen ones seek to learn from life's experiences, seeing every challenge as an opportunity to grow. As the wise Solomon said in Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. Yes, with all that you possess, get knowledge." Wisdom is not a destination, but a continuous journey of learning. Another fundamental aspect of personal and spiritual growth is the practice of self-knowledge. The chosen ones take the time to reflect on their actions, thoughts, and emotions. They question themselves about their values and principles, seeking to align their lives with divine truth. This process of introspection is vital for identifying areas for improvement and for freeing oneself from patterns of behavior that no longer serve one's spiritual purpose. The quest for growth also involves the practice of humility. The chosen ones recognize that, however far they advance on their spiritual journey, there is always more to learn and evolve. They are open to receiving teachings from various sources, be they sacred scriptures, spiritual masters, or even the simple and profound lessons of everyday life. Humility allows the chosen ones to remain receptive to divine grace, which guides and illuminates the path of growth. It is important to emphasize that the personal and spiritual growth of the chosen ones is not an end in itself, but a means of better serving the greater good. The more we evolve, the more capable we become of helping those around us. As the Gospel of Matthew chapter 20 verse 26 teaches, "Whoever wishes to become great among you, let him serve you." True spiritual growth results in a deep desire to contribute to raising the collective consciousness of humanity. It is essential that those chosen are faithful to their values and principles, remaining steadfast in their spiritual journey, even in the face of challenges and adversity. Staying true to one's values and principles is the cornerstone of any chosen one's spiritual journey. On the path to spirituality, personal integrity is as vital as the very air we breathe. Values and principles are not simply moral guidelines. They are the concrete manifestation of our alignment with the divine. They are the compass that guides us, especially when the seas are rough. Challenges and adversity are inevitable on any meaningful journey. Let's remember the words of James, chapter 1, verse 12. "Blessed is the one who endures perseverance in trial, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." This passage reminds us that endurance and firmness in our convictions are not only necessary, but also rewarded. It is proof that we are truly committed to our spiritual evolution. When we face difficulties, the temptation to deviate from our values can be intense. It may seem easier to find quick fixes or shortcuts that compromise our integrity. However, it is precisely at these times that the true nature of a chosen one reveals itself. Fidelity to values is not a matter of convenience, but of deep commitment to what is just and true. If we put our principles aside at the first sign of difficulty, our connection with the divine weakens. The modern world often values material success and instant gratification above integrity and spirituality. This environment can make it even more challenging to stay true to spiritual values. However, it's crucial to remember that true fulfillment comes from within. When we are aligned with our values, we experience a peace and satisfaction that the material world cannot provide. Jesus taught us in Matthew chapter 6 verse 33, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." This shows us that when we prioritize our spiritual values, the rest naturally follows. The chosen ones, by standing firm on their principles, not only strengthen their own journey, but also inspire those around them. The light of a life lived with integrity is a beacon for those seeking guidance. In moments of despair or doubt, people naturally turn to those who demonstrate a solid moral and spiritual foundation. By remaining faithful, we help raise the collective consciousness, serving as living examples of the transformative power of spirituality. In addition, fidelity to values and principles creates an internal resilience that prepares us to face any adversity. When we know who we are and what we are fighting for, challenges become opportunities for growth and empowerment. They test our faith, but they also refine it, making us stronger and more connected to the divine. It's like gold purified by fire. The more intense the heat, the purer it becomes. The journey of the chosen can be lonely at times, but it is important to remember that we are never truly alone, because the divine is always by our side. The spiritual journey is a journey full of discoveries, challenges, and moments of profound self-knowledge. For those who identify themselves as chosen ones, individuals who feel a special connection with the divine and a clear spiritual purpose, this journey can sometimes seem lonely. However, it is crucial to remember that even in the loneliest moments we are never truly alone. The divine, in its infinite wisdom and love, is always by our side, guiding and offering support. Loneliness can be a frequent companion on the journey of the chosen ones. This is because spiritual paths often require introspection, meditation, and a temporary withdrawal from the outside world, so that we can hear the inner voice and divine guidance. Jesus, for example, spent 40 days and nights in the desert, in a period of solitude and reflection, before beginning his public ministry, Matthew 4:1-2. These moments of isolation are crucial for spiritual development, as they give us the opportunity to go deeper into our essence and strengthen our connection with the divine. However, it is important to distinguish between physical loneliness and spiritual loneliness. Physical loneliness refers to the absence of human company, while spiritual loneliness is the feeling of being disconnected from the divine. While the former can be a choice or a consequence of circumstances, the latter is an illusion. The divine is always present, even when we can't perceive its presence. The Bible assures us, "Behold, I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Matthew 28:20. This divine promise is a reminder that, no matter how lonely our journey may seem, we are never truly alone. To deal with moments of loneliness, it is vital to cultivate spiritual practices that connect us with the divine. Meditation, prayer, and contemplation are powerful tools that help us feel the divine presence in our lives. In addition, seeking out the company of others who share our spiritual journey can provide a sense of community and support. Study groups, congregations, and spiritual gatherings are spaces where we can share our experiences, learn from others, and feel the presence of the divine through communion with our peers. Loneliness on the journey of the chosen can also be an opportunity for growth. When we are alone, we are forced to face our fears, doubts, and insecurities. In the process, we discover our true strength and resilience. Solitude teaches us to trust in the divine and to depend on its guidance. As the psalmist said, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Psalm 23:4. The chosen ones have a responsibility to share their light and wisdom with those around them, helping to raise the collective consciousness of humanity. As a spiritual mentor, I have seen throughout my journey that those who are considered chosen have a responsibility that goes beyond the simple quest for self-knowledge. They are bearers of a light that should not be kept to themselves, but shared with the world around them. This is one of the fundamental pillars for raising humanity's collective consciousness. In my experiences, both personal and as a spiritual guide, I have observed that true transformation begins when we decide to share our wisdom and light. When I began my spiritual journey, I was blessed with mentors who generously shared their knowledge and experience with me. They showed me that spirituality is not a solitary journey, but a web of interactions and sharing that uplifts everyone. Remember Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden." This passage reminds us that our spiritual light is a beacon that can guide others through the darkness of ignorance and suffering. But to do so, we need to be brave and generous enough to let that light shine. Sharing your light and wisdom doesn't mean you need to be a guru or have all the answers. Often, it's the small acts of kindness, words of encouragement, and gestures of understanding that resonate most with the people around us. It is through these actions that we begin to raise the collective consciousness. Each of us has something unique to offer, and it is our responsibility to discover and share this with the world. I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences and acquired wisdom. What valuable lessons have you learned throughout your life? How can these lessons benefit those around you? When I shared my own journey of self-knowledge, I realized that many people went through similar experiences and found comfort and inspiration in my words. This motivated me to keep sharing, knowing that every little bit of sharing can create ripples of positive change. In addition, It's crucial to remember that sharing your light also implies listening to and learning from others. Wisdom is not a one-way street. By opening our hearts and minds to the experiences and teachings of others, we broaden our own understanding and strengthen the network of light that connects humanity. It is essential that the chosen ones are always in balance with themselves, cultivating inner peace and harmony in all areas of their lives. Maintaining inner balance is one of the chosen ones' greatest responsibilities. This incessant search for inner peace and harmony is not just a spiritual practice, but a vital necessity for those who wish to fulfill their true purpose in the world. When we talk about balance, we are referring to a state of serenity and stability that permeates all areas of life: emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. The first key to achieving this balance is self-understanding. It is essential that the chosen ones do a deep job of self-analysis, understanding their emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. This requires honesty and the courage to face not only the lights but also the shadows that dwell within. As the sage Lao Tse said, "Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering yourself is true power." The second step is the constant practice of meditation and prayer. These moments of connection with the divine are fundamental for recharging our energies and keeping our minds clear and focused. Meditation in particular is a powerful tool for calming the mind and listening to the inner voice that is often drowned out by the noise of the outside world. In Psalm 46, verse 10, we read, "Be still and know that I am God." This verse reminds us of the importance of quieting the mind in order to feel the divine presence. In addition, it is crucial that the chosen ones maintain a healthy lifestyle. This includes a balanced diet, regular exercise, and quality sleep. The body is the temple of the soul, and taking care of it is a way of honoring the divine that dwells within us. As St. Paul said in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 19, "Do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who dwells in you?" Another vital aspect of balance is the management of time and responsibilities. The chosen often feel called to take on multiple tasks and help several people. However, it is essential that they know how to set limits and prioritize their own needs. The famous phrase, "Love your neighbor as yourself," implies that we must first love and care for ourselves in order to then be fully capable of loving and caring for others. Emotional balance is also essential. Those chosen must learn to deal with their emotions in a healthy way, avoiding repression or explosion. Techniques such as conscious breathing, therapeutic writing, and positive internal dialogue can be extremely useful in this process. Remember Jesus' words in Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Each day's evil is enough." Finally, harmony in interpersonal relationships cannot be neglected. Cultivating healthy relationships based on mutual respect and empathy is fundamental to maintaining balance. Those chosen should be examples of love, compassion, and understanding, positively influencing everyone around them. In short, balance is the foundation on which the chosen ones build their lives and their spiritual mission. By cultivating inner peace and harmony in all areas of their lives, they not only become stronger and more resilient, but also become beacons of light and hope for the world. Remember, the chosen ones are not better or superior to other people. They are simply more aware of their spirituality and the positive impact they can have on the world. If you identify with these characteristics, know that you too can be one of the chosen ones and fulfill your true spiritual purpose in this life. As a spiritual mentor, one of the most important lessons I've learned over the years is that being chosen doesn't mean being better or superior to others. It's an insight that helps us understand that we are all equal in the eyes of the divine, but some of us are more aware of our spirituality and the positive impact we can have on the world. This awareness is not a privilege reserved for a small spiritual elite, but a journey accessible to all who wish to go deeper into their own essence and purpose. Humility is a fundamental virtue on this journey. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 12, we read, "Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted." This teaching reminds us that true spiritual greatness lies not in elevating oneself above others, but in serving with humility and compassion. On my own journey, I have encountered moments of doubt and challenges that could easily have led me astray. However, it was in practicing humility and in the constant search for understanding and spiritual growth that I found the strength to continue. I remember a particularly difficult period in my life where daily meditation and reading the scriptures helped me rediscover my connection with the divine. This practice brought me an inner peace and clarity of purpose that transformed not only my life, but also the lives of many around me. I encourage you to do the same. Set aside time to seek this spiritual connection on a daily basis. It could be through meditation, prayer, or silent contemplation. The important thing is that you allow yourself to be present and receptive to what the divine has to reveal to you. Remember, being a chosen one is not about achieving status, but about the awareness and responsibility of using your light to illuminate the path of others. Spiritual awareness allows us to see the world through eyes of compassion and love. It helps us realize that every action, no matter how small, can have a significant impact on the well-being of others and on raising the collective consciousness. As the Apostle Paul says in Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but humbly consider others better than yourselves.